So I came to Islam as a convert. When I became a Muslim, I knew that polygyny would be an option for a man that I might potentially marry.
Okay.
But I came into Islam not wanting to be married. And I think there's a level of choice there. So I knew coming in that I could make the choice to not be married at all and still be a good Muslim. I could also make the choice to be the second, third, fourth, first wife to a man. So these were conscious choices that I made. So polygyny is less of a prickly conversation for me because I've seen it done well.
Right.
I've seen it done horribly. So for me, I think when I think about the romantic boundaries and relationships, it's less about what the relationship is called, and it's more about what are my choices? How am I relating to myself? And does this serve my needs? Because your ultimate relationship is to who? Yourself.
Right. Let's say like a man married to a woman. She's the primary, right, in the relationship. The man wants to go and take on another wife. She doesn't agree. What happens? Faith-wise, because you talked about the religion and you talked about the choice of faith as a way of being. So when you're faithful, you accept, right?
But you have choice.
There's
no compulsion in religion. She does not have to accept the second wife, but she also has to accept that he has a choice, and the choice might be then to dissolve the relationship. And it seems very cut and dry, but like you do have a choice. You might not like the options that you have.
Right.
So the man can have as many wives as he wants.
No,
not many.
So actually, that's a good point.
Not as many as he wants.
That's a good point. The ruling that came down in the Quran, it was actually to regulate what was happening in pre-Islamic Arabia. Men were just like, you get a wife, and you get a wife, and you get a wife. So it was like, pause. You don't need 25. You can have 4.
Okay.
So it wasn't.
How did they land on 4?
I really have a lot
know. We
So
have
it feels
to,
like a good
we have to
number
wait
to
till
me.
Judgment Day and ask.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
The bottom line, the most important part is revelation.
the ayah that came down after the Battle of Uhud. And there were a certain number of Muslim men who were killed. And so you had all of these women, you had all of these children at a time where it wasn't like 2022. Like you had to have a protector. And so the revelation came down that you can marry 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but if you cannot deal justly with them, just marry 1. And this was all a part of that contextual conversation about what do we do in this aftermath when our community has been decimated. So that is the context. And even so, I'm just gonna put some family business out on the table. We're at the dinner table. My grandfather, we don't know how many children he had. My mom is 76 years old. It must be a Detroit thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
My mother is
70
76. She is still finding siblings. We know for a fact, he had a family in New York. He had a family in Detroit. They knew about each other. They didn't like it. How is that not polygyny? That's not what it was called. It happens so much in America. We just don't call it that. It's like an open secret to, Uncle Earl.
What do
he
we
brought these 6 kids to the family reunion. These your cousins. Those not your cousins. Those your siblings. Like, so, this argument that a lot of Muslims say, well, we shouldn't engage in polygyny because it goes against American law. Well, so does a lot of things that we do in our Islamic practice. I don't think putting our feet in the sink at, Sears to make wudu is legal either, but we do it.